Sorry, just taking my boots off. Just turning the recording on, because most of these games don't have menu screens. They just throw you straight into these things. Why is cap lock on? Tab, press the X key. Why? Why should I do that? Why should I press either of those buttons? Nothing happens when I do them. You great big fibber. Why do you come up with a little message saying start a new game in a very 90s style of doing things? Oh, you mean menu is tab and saving is pressing X. You could have made that clearer. But never mind. I don't claim to have a PhD in communication. It is very seldom that mere ordinary people like John and myself secure ancestral halls for the summer. A colonial mansion. I didn't get any time to read that. The Judiciary Committee of the House of Representatives is receiving a deputation of a female suffragist. These are big words. A lady delegate reading her arguments in favour of women's voting on the basis of the 14th and 15th constitutional amendments. Please stand by. These men look very upset about things. Probably upset about the amount of washing that isn't getting done. Right. Gideon. I should emphasise the game does give you slightly more time to read that opening statement than I actually utilised. Mainly because I was busy taking my boots off, and for that I sincerely apologise. I shall endeavour to deboot myself before starting games next time. Oh. Okie dokie. Okay. This is cute, this is pretty. So apparently this is a... I bobble a lot as I walk. Oh, these blasted locks. John denies it, and I am sure he is responsible. I suppose it serves as some protection against... Well, I dared not think it. But why won't they tell me how it works? The system makes no sense to me. I suppose they wish me to stay safe in my library. What is one to do? I can think of some things we could do together, but, you know, maybe I'm being a bit, well, I was going to say old-fashioned, but then again, this is before the time women had the right to vote, so to be honest with you, describing this as old-fashioned would be an understatement. We have been hoping every day that we should see you back, but suppose the weather has prevented your coming. In my case, it's usually something else that prevents them. We hope you can begin the new term, Monday 15th, and you will have no further hindrances. We enclose your report, which you will... not expect to be very good on account of protracted absences with regards to your mother, Mrs. Field, and myself. Oh, goodness. Oh dear, it turns out I'm a bit of a dummy. Oh dear. Miss Charlotte A. Perkins, a member of the advanced class of the Rhode Island School of Design, is thoroughly well able to give instruction in elementary drawing to children or to teach any person who wishes to learn to draw. I guess that's like the 17th century version of a certificate of competence. Okay, now this is a fascinating image. This is a fascinating image. There is so much to unpack here. So there's some people playing a game of chess, right? Some people playing a game of chess. This woman looks like she thinks she's about to pull off the sneakiest maneuver in the world. The only thing is, in chess, everyone, and by everyone I mean the two players, can kind of see what you're doing, because that's kind of an integral gameplay mechanic. This person is just shocked by their stupidity, and is wondering who this person is looking at. Who are they looking at as they do this, and why are they looking at the board? Why do they have such big hands in comparison to the rest of their body, and such big forearms? Goodness sake. Right. I cannot cope with these facial expressions. They are too wonderful. Please tell me this is a real painting. Please tell me I can go to an auction house and buy this painting. I need this painting in my life. I just want to put it on every wall. I want to commission an army of artists to make perfect replications of this image and just plaster them across every part of my house. I will laugh for the rest of my life. Right, so then we've got a nun here who is watching over the game and thinking, oh, that's a terrible, terrible move. That's a terrible move this person thinks they're doing. And they're thinking they're being sneaky, but they're not. I'm also wondering why this person's chest is so straight. For goodness sake, that's impressive. And then there's this small little tyrant over here, who I'm guessing has just put some jam on the back of the nun's dress, and she's not going to find out, and eventually a wasp is going to come and bite her bum. Or sting her bum, for that matter. to get at the jam. Right. That was an adventure and a half. We're going to go through a similar lengthy and messy adventure. If I Were a Man, Charlotte Perkins Gilman. Interesting. That would actually be an interesting book to read, but yeah, I apologise. That one just really took me. Okie dokie, what have we got here? A very boring picture of somebody painting a picture. Okay, that's interesting. That answers an interesting question I've been having recently. I know we're not getting on with the game, and for that I sincerely apologise, but yes, this is a bit of a walking simulator. I think there's a lot of reading, a sort of storytelling, that kind of thing. I'm going to spend most of it drivelling on about random inconsequentialities. Deal with them. What I was thinking about recently is that, you know, in interviews, when like having an interview with somebody, instead of just switching between the interviewer and the interviewed, the two people, they often like pan out a bit, and they have like footage of like the person with the light and the person with the cameras. I don't know why you hold cameras like you hold guns, but never mind. And I was thinking to myself, why do they do that, and why is that a recent thing? But it actually seems like it's not, because now, instead of having a person who had to sit still for a portrait, we had to have a person who sat still for a portrait, who was sitting still or standing still for a portrait of the person. Why is this a style? Why do people think this is an interesting style? I will never understand for as long as I live. Oh, goodness. I think somebody wasn't quite ready for their painting to be done. But never mind. I wish to be the sort of woman, handsome, self-poised, well-read, keen-sighted, refreshing, whom men will delight to talk with, and so I will take the broad road of individuality apart from sex. I have decided that I am not domestic, and I do not wish to be a mother. Good for you. What does that have to do with any of this? Right. Again, with the facial expressions. This person looks like they're trying to look down this person's mouth, trying to check if they've got tonsillitis. This person is just thinking, excuse me, I'm just trying to have a quick nap here, and you came along and groped me. And again, with the odd proportion of the arms and legs. Is it my imagination, or are these really, like, thick arms and legs? Like, there's almost no definition to the elbow. It's odd, it's mysterious, but at least there's nobody watching them. Right, what have we over here? Queen Victoria and the complete opposite of Queen Victoria sit by some grapes and read a book. That is the least exciting thing we've seen so far. Postcard? Martha's manifold little dearness will make up for husband and children and all that I shall miss. I think somebody's been applying a little bit too much lead makeup. Right. Is this what you teach them in the, what was it called? The Rhode Island School of Design? Is that what you people call it? Yes. Is this what you teach people to draw? Because if that's the case, I think that they deserve their money back. So, what's with the sentient chips? And the small child? Or fries, as the Americans call them. Right, what about my feelings? What about some socks, my friend? That would be a better place to start, if you ask humble me. When I was 17, one of my mother's cousins invited me to a students' concert at Brown. Mother declined for me. She, in her lovely girlhood, had known many college boys. I have a funny feeling I know where this is going. She had some obscure objection to me getting in with the students. I think it's more going to be a matter of the students getting in to her, but never mind. I had no complaint, being already endured to denial, but that same day, another of the cousins, 20 years older than I, asked me to go with him and his sisters to sit in a box. What joy! I mean, I know people joke and say, wow, the olden days must have been boring without the internet. But if you go around and invite your cousins to sit in a box, then you must be very, very boring. Right. Booth, Hamlet, a box. Oh, you mean like a box on the side of like a stage in a Nothing in all the world could have ever meant so much to me at the time, and Mother refused. Why? She afterwards explained that having refused Robert, she feared that if she accepted Edward's invitations, it would hurt Robert's feelings. What about my feelings? Says Robert, who despite for the 1700s, still seems to be massively outdatedly dressed, and I'm one to say. Right, haven't you learned the rules yet? What are you babbling on about? Haven't I learned the rules yet? I don't know. You haven't tried to tell me any rules yet. So is this a puzzle? Am I supposed to... Oh, goodness, there's going to be a lot of reading. I cannot read all of this. What? This is literally an entire ebook. I'm not reading this. What? Uncle Tom's Cabin? I am not reading all... seriously, I'm not reading all of that. That would be ridiculous. I can't get out of this, though, so I guess I'm going to have to read it. What? Why is the top of it not there? Wait, I'm so confused. How do I get out of this thing? Right, there we are. That's better. Okay, so you're trying to tell me that there's a puzzle going on, and I have to figure out what I'm supposed to be doing. Is that what I'm supposed to be doing? Tales of Mystery. Giddy. Oh, fishing people's bodies out of the stream. That's a bit depressing. Mary Cecilia Rogers, better known as the Beautiful Cigar Girl. I would have described her as the disproportionate right-angle triangle-nosed weirdo. But never mind. Found murdered at... I can't even read that. On Wednesday, July. Fascinating. So somebody got murdered. Lovely stuff. I'm really glad getting... No, hang on a second. I am really getting glad not to marry. Giddy art. Is this meant to be, like, written in the style of the olden days, or is it just meant to be written to break my brain? I should rage as I do, now at confinement and steady work. If I let that business alone, and go in my own way, what I gain in individual strength and development of personal power of character, myself as self, you know, no I really don't, not merely as woman, or that useful animal, a wife and mother, well, will I think makeup. Oh gosh, give me strength. And more than makeup in usefulness and effect for the other happiness that part of me would so enjoy. Right. I am going to guess that there's something I need to do. Maybe I need to push this. Ah! Turns out I needed to push that. Okay, we have some people here trying to tame some horses. I'm sorry, have you taken a piece of string and tied up the horse's tail into a bum bun? Why would you do that? Why would you do that horror? Why would you do that horror? This horse is so drugged up. This horse is just like, man, I don't want to go and defend the Alamo. I just need to lie down. But this guy's having none of it. This guy and his dramatic neck are having none of it. He's going off to meet his friend who managed to get a horse that wasn't horribly drugged up. Let me out! Oh, hello. What? Press E to interact with Genie. Could you please stop wandering around? It isn't good. I thought I asked you to throw Charlotte's things away. So much clutter. It is as if she is still here. Oh, so I'm not Charlotte then. Oh, no, this is me talking to you. Oh, it's like Fallout. Okay. Well, really, I can't very well throw them out. They belong to the owner, after all. I do put them away as you ask, but somebody keeps replacing them. Oh, gosh. I need to have a word with John. Where is he? I need to have a word with my psychiatrist. I want to be able to move around this house freely. Why are the doors locked? If I had less opposition from you and John and society and stimulus, I'm sure my condition would improve. Where's John? He's in his study, but you must go to your room and rest. You mustn't exhaust yourself, dear Jane. Why am I not moving? For my own good, yes. Something else is going to be for your own good in a minute if you don't shut up. John is a physician of the highest standing, and your husband, he has assured us that there is really nothing the matter with you but temporary nervous depression, a slight hysterical tendency. I do have a tendency to be hysterical, particularly when people don't give me what I want, but never mind. You must follow his instructions and get well. Oh, go away. Remember the doctor said you would live as domestic a life as possible. From the two-dimensional whispering ghost. Right, what have we here? What? Vote for the celebrated man-tamer. The Age of Brass. Okay. What is up with the expression on this woman's face? What's up with her hair, as well, for that matter? What's up with her incredibly thin feet? What's up with this guy who feels like he's literally been left holding the baby and doesn't know what to do with himself, or his very impressive hat? These people all look vaguely normal. Giddy, oh, this woman's got something going on. This woman who doesn't understand how to colour code her clothing correctly. Oh, a little dog. I didn't see that dog down there. How absolutely adorable. What is it with all the tiny little parasols? They cannot surely be helping. And you know, if you wanted to stop being beaten down by the sun so much, maybe don't wear 17,000 layers of clothing. But never mind. Finally, a normal painting of a normal person who looks normal. Normally, anyway. This door will never open for you. Haven't you learned the rules yet? Okay, pressing on that doesn't seem to do anything. But you're trying to tell me that I presumably can't leave. Ah, musicians of old. Right, giddy on. Again with the expressions. Even the baby manages to have an expression. It's just like, I am so done with this. I cannot do this anymore. Somebody just get me some milk. I'm going to go to sleep. And this man, who's being very 21st century and doing some washing, good for him. Oh, there's actually of the age of iron. Despite the fact that it looks in exactly the same era as before, but never mind. Here's a man doing... This is interesting, actually. This is like an odd reversal of what you'd normally expect to see in a drawing of this era. It's like men doing the washing and the sewing and looking after the babies, and then there's women like looking after and driving the horses. Also, how does this work? On just a purely physical level, like the physics of this, if you stepped on that, it would just snap. And never mind, I'm also convinced nobody would fit in there. But never mind. What does any of it matter? I'm not even going to comment on the facial expressions of these individuals, or why this person seems to have a massive bee bum on the back of her head, or just a massive bum in general. But never mind. I guess kids, let's not look at that. I'll get banned if I do that. Right. What do we have here? Oh, shut up, you stupid two-dimensional ghost. What? An interesting novelty has sprung up amongst us in a city where we're surrounded by olden time. Miss Edmonia Lewis, a lady of colour, has taken a studio in Rome, works as a sculptress for one of the rooms formerly occupied by the great master Canova. Fascinating. I have absolutely no idea what any of that is supposed to mean. This very quizzical looking gentleman has decided to bring the horned head of a severed criminal to this dagger wielding lady. Oh! Can I actually get information on all of these paintings by clicking on them? Yes, I can. Right, I'm not going to go back and do all the other ones because that would be a bit boring, but we shall briefly read this one because I'm so fascinated. Why does she have a severed head? Why does she have a knife? What's inscribed on it? Why isn't she looking at this? Why does this man's face look like this? The biblical story of Judith made a deep impression on Galizia at an early age, and she treated the subject many times. In this version, the Jewish heroine is sumptuously dressed, laden with jewellery, and her head is crowned with the diadem. Big words. Actually, it's not a big word, it's just a word I don't know. The preciosity of the heroine's attire reflects the training in the miniature tradition the artist receives from her father Nunzio. I think we're just going to look at the pictures and make fun of the silly expressions, frankly. Ah, the life is the third wheel. I feel your pain, madam. Be saved by free love. That's what the hippies were saying, isn't it? Giddy. This guy's having the time of his life. This is just a baby, and they're all being carried on the back of this man wearing a kilt and carrying a big stick. And they're presumably all going to get thrown off a cliff in a minute. If male debauchery is allowed to circulate in respectable society and marry women with unsoiled robes, then the female debauchery should be allowed the same privileges and be treated in the same manner. This is justice, not mercy, not charity. I'm having the time of my life doing this. Don't know if you are. Ah, finally, somebody normal. Standing in a very, relaxed manner for a Victorian, but never mind. I will announce myself as a candidate for the presidency. I anticipate criticism, however unfavourable, I trust that my sincerity will not be called into question. Good for you. This looks like a political satire cartoon. Am I going to stop looking at it now? These are some words and some pictures, and again it's an entire book, which I don't have time to read. This is, I'm guessing, some sort of civil war thing? Oh, Crimean War, my mistake. Very distinct difference there. Oh, the original creep shot. Great. Right. This woman who's mistaken her jamboree or a tambourine or whatever another Sony call that thing for her kite. And here we... The truth is, I do not like to go to my room. It is the wallpaper. There are things in that paper that nobody knows but me, or ever will. It is like a woman stooping down and creeping about behind that pattern. I do not like it a bit, I wonder. I begin to think. I wish John would take me away from here. I wish people would start making a bit of sense. Every secret of a writer's soul, every experience of his life, every quality of his mind is written large in his works. What about the ones that have only just started? You need to let me out. You need to stop letting the insanity out, friend. That's what you need to do. What a nice collection of bits of china. The woman's right. The right to be a comforter when other comforts fail. The right to cheer the drooping heart when the troubles most ail. The right to train the infant mind to think of heaven and God. The right to guide the tiny feet, the path our Saviour tread. The right to solace at the distressed, to wipe the mourner tear. The right to shelter the oppressed and gently chide each fear. The right to be a bright sunbeam in high or lonely home. The right to smile with loving gleam and point to joys to come. That doesn't rhyme. Home and come don't rhyme, but never mind. The right to feel the fevered brow, to ease the troubled mind, and gently tell in accents low, of all those who seek shall find. Such are the noblest woman's rights. Kitty, this is ridiculous. This isn't a load of rights. Rights are like freedom of worship, freedom of speech, right to vote, right to get a job. These are just chores, for goodness sake. There's a very distinct difference there. Hi again, you two-dimensional dingberries. Right. What happened to your trousers? Paradox of a world's judgment on maidens. Must marry. Wasn't even think of doing anything to get there. Must not view all men as possible husbands, yet are wholly blameworthy if, for want of such careful consideration, a man finds himself encouraged without acceptance. What are you babbling on about? Declaration of Sentiments, 1848. He has denied her the facilities of obtaining through education, all colleges being closed against her. He has never permitted her to exercise her inalienable right to the elective franchise. He has compelled her to submit to laws in the formation of which she has no voice. He has taken her from all rights and property, even to the wages she earns. He has made her, morally, an irresponsible being, and she cannot commit many crimes with impunity, provided they be done in the presence of her husband. In the covenant of marriage she is compelled to promise obedience to her husband, and he becoming, to all intents and purposes, her master. The law giving him power to deprive her of liberty, to administer chastisement. The history of mankind is a history of repeated injuries and usurpations of the part of man towards woman. Having in direct object the establishment of the absolute tyranny over her, to prove this, let the facts be submitted to a candid world. He has monopolised nearly all profitable employments, and from those she is permitted to follow, she receives but a scanty remuneration. I agree. Things are terrible. But never mind. Things is not quite the same now. The new woman, she won't bow to the hat. What hat? Yeah, it does say hat. It even says hat down here. I thought I must have misread it. Never. Oh my giddy aunt. Right, okay, for starters, you've gone overboard with the corset. Secondly, what are these things from Art Attack doing here, and why are there so many of them, and why do they have hairnets on? Secondly, you're overdoing it with the tights, and the compasses. Why do you have a thermometer? Where did all of your hair go? And frankly, I should be asking that to this person as well. Old maid, Dr. A, when you have examined all my bumps, I will trouble you to explain the faculties, sympathies, and propensities of my dear poodle Pompey. Dr. S. Miss Strangeways, I can distinctly enumerate through the aid of my patent skull meter that your cranium... I don't even want to know about the bumps on the cranium of the dog. Right. Further facts about them. Lindale, July 22nd. The ordinary old maid is an object of universal commiseration. In fact, we are fully persuaded that it is customary for her to get a great deal more pity from mankind than she is willing to acknowledge she cares for. Right. Okay. This isn't quite where I thought the game was going to go. I knew the game was about, like, women being downtrodden in the olden days. I didn't think this is how it was going to go. I'm having a lot more fun with the pictures than I am with anything else. But never mind. A guide to cookery in all branches. Can we get some nice recipes? What should we get some Cadbury's for? Ooh, Cadbury's chocolate. The only good thing about the past. The mistress. What does this have to do with making chocolate? Ooh, I'm getting hungry looking at this. More lovely foods, and that looks like about the end of it. Well, call me a stickler for the status quo, but I think I'll stick with Barry Lewis. Right, what have we got here? More stuff. More. Why do we have so many candles? It's a very important question to ask. Okay, so this lady was trying to come to the door carrying some china. She thought the door was locked, so she leaned on it. But it turned out it wasn't locked. It was open, and she fell through. She made a big mess. This man is very upset about the fact. This woman is highly bemused. I should also state, there's not enough space on this table for all of this stuff. But never mind. Official guide to wedlock, bachelor maid, Uncle Sam proves to be a valuable friend. Publisher's map, showing where unmarried men are. And the girl's chances are clearly the best. Oh gosh, that sounds very modern. Hello, small child. You're the most normal looking person I've met so far. For infants, growing children, convalescents, consumptives, disceptives, and the aged. A perfect nutriment in acute illness and all wasting diseases. I think this is our baby. It's not just anybody's baby. This is our baby. I'm sick to death of you people coming around saying that this is your baby. It's not. It's our baby. That's the end of the matter. We even copyrighted them. Right. This looks like the beginning of another very modern piece of media. But never mind. I'm also wondering, what does this have to do with lard? It was a choice family lard, because, you know, lard is so delicious and wonderful and multi-purpose that you would really choose it, wouldn't you, rather than just having to have the accursed stuff. Okay, onward we go. Good, more paintings to laugh at. Hooray, we figured that out. Right. Here we have a woman who, again, is looking sneakily into the camera as she draws on her own dress. Good for her. I caught Jeannie the other day. She didn't know I was in the room, and when I asked her in a quiet, very quiet voice, the most restrained manner possible, what she was doing with the paper, she turned around as if she had been caught stealing, and looked quite angry. She asked me why I should frighten her so. Did that not sound innocent? But I knew she was studying that pattern. I am determined that nobody shall find out but myself. He was looking like so do I need to, like, press the buttons around the house in a specific pattern or something? I don't know. Right. Small child in cone, because that's really productive, isn't it? As people look on gleefully, not looking where they're driving their babies to. Good for them. Right. All these other paintings are all vaguely ordinary and normal, and there's nothing particularly funny to laugh at. What does this very grim woman have to say for herself? Mary Cassett. Lady at the tea table. Apparently it took 2 years to paint it. Kitty, aren't you? Look extremely upset about something. A Polish painter associated with styles and impressionism. This woman is doing an impression of being extremely nervous about something. Can't entirely say I blame her. Right. Should we read some more guff, or should we move swiftly on? Oh, let's read a little bit more guff. What do we got here? A nice picture of some people getting married, which seems a bit beyond, like, the late 1800s. Seems more like the 1920s, never mind. Pleasant to ring at the doors where you've always been greeted with gladness. To be meet with the smile that you value all others above. To see that smile flicker and vanish and change into sadness because she was met by your presence instead of her love. So I'm an unwanted guest at a party. I've felt that way before. Oh gosh, more stuff. Fear of the crime of infanticide. Does that mean murdering children? That's a bit depressing. Okay. So there were some people over here that I had the opportunity to speak to, and I never got around to it. So possibly I can learn something from Mrs. Roosevelt and Dorothy. Good afternoon. Have either of you seen Charlotte? Why is a woman to be treated differently? Why is grammar not to work? I would like to work and earn money so that I'm not economically dependent on John. It makes me feel vulnerable and diminished. Well, you're completely correct. But, you know, I don't think that's going to change in 100 years. No! Jane, you mustn't turn into one of those new women. Old maids, everyone, I wager, discontent because no man ever makes them an offer. The nature of most women is not fit for the contentious spirit of the world, and surely would not make us more lovely or pleasant at home. No, we must remain in our separate spheres. So, I make a very legitimate comment about society, and you give me a load of meaningless gumph. Oh, the past. We were made as helpers. Equality of the sexes would establish those competitive relationships would destroy chivalrous consideration. We must cooperate, not compete. We can cooperate and still be equal, you know. Those things aren't mutually exclusive, but never mind. Charlotte, the owner? No, indeed, and that is something of a relief, as she is reputed to be one of the tiresome reform types. She is not content to be wife and mother, but struggles against the protection of the stronger sex and foolishly wishes to be their equal. She does not realize the power we have indirectly through the sacred sphere of home and family life. Or maybe she just wants something more to life than getting groceries. Can't entirely blame the woman. Right. I am going to guess that one of these buttons needs pressing. So something opened, I'm not quite sure what though. Oh, that shut this. Interesting. So can I open it from the other side but not open it from this side? I do wish there was a sprint button, but never mind. What about that door over there? There's lots of buttons here. What does this button do? Ooh, what is that? What? Oh, hello. Talk to Mrs. Kate Douglas Wiggin. What a name. John says if you don't pick up faster, we shall send you to Weir Mitchell. What, like the great-great-grandfather of David? You don't know that, do you? I thought not. I shall put the journal away then, out of temptation. What are you babbling on about? I think it is unreasonable for you to hide my journal. What is one to do? Remember the doctor told you to never touch pen, brush, or pencil for as long as you live. Great. So she's also being denied just like freedom of natural expression, as well as everything else. What are you, still wondering about? Are you mad? You know there will be consequences. Well, what is one to do? Perhaps take your tonic. There's something you can take, and there's a very specific place you can take it. Right. This doesn't do anything. We've already read that. I'm more than aware of that information. What's this round thing? She hath a ring. I hath a pain. Yes. Rings usually do lead to pain. Pain of children. Okay, so something... Oh, that shut that now. For goodness sake. I'm doing it all wrong. I'm shutting all the wrong doors. I'm opening all the wrong doors. Okie dokie. Right. What about this button here? Did we try this button? That didn't seem to open any of them. Okay, I'm a little confused. Oh, I don't think this was open previously, and I'm going to have to be very careful about going down this corridor, otherwise I'll get banned. You are making such... Am I? I'm making something up, anyway. The fact is, I'm getting a little afraid of John. He seems very queer sometimes. Even Jeannie has an inexplicable look. It strikes me occasionally just as a scientific hypothesis. Perhaps it is the paper. I've watched John when he did not know I was looking, and came into room suddenly on the most innocent excuses. I caught him several times looking at the paper. That accursed pornography, it will be the death of us all. And Jeannie too. I caught Jeannie with her hand in it once. Goodness. Kinky folks. Right. Dancing sword wielder person. Good for them. Right. Sadly, no funny expressions. That's racist, so we're going to stop looking at that immediately. Oh, Walter, but I need you. You can be so much to me. And if I could only feel that all would go well. I could be glad and give you everything but my life. Right. The only funny expression here is that of the moon. Never mind. Oh look, it's Nicolas Cage. Your love could hinder me. Oh, on the simplest physiological grounds. I know that a love begun should be consummated, and consummation would mean relinquishment of all my plans. Doesn't take that long, mate. Or at least doesn't in my case. It would feed the side of my nature which I am holding in check. I am pretty evenly balanced, animal and spiritual. When I give up, I fear I should give up. And when I give up, where I give up? Were I to give up? Were I to write properly? And become no more use than other women. I mean, the dialogue is no worse than a normal Nicolas Cage movie, so thank you for actually putting some clothes on, madam. I thoroughly appreciate that. Anything interesting to say here? Again, the dress doesn't seem very 1883, but never mind. Right, there's another button here. What does that do? That shut this one. Great. What about this button? Let's open that one. But I think I want to press that button. So if I press this again, what happens? Nothing. Okay, so maybe if I press this red one. There we go. And then I press this one. That'll open this door. No, it didn't. I don't know what that did. Maybe if I now press that, maybe this door is open? Yes, indeed. Excellent. Poor creature. This house is full of poor creatures. Kitty, an awful lot of nudity. Please, people, keep your clothes on for 5 minutes. Right. Family remedy. Oh, no, female remedy. My mistake. What's wrong with her? She looks perfectly alright. Showed signs of hysteria. Oh, how the dear girl needs marriage, even as I do. I don't think marrying people is the correct way to solve hysteria, but never mind. Oh, gosh. Moving on to a horror element? I didn't think this was a horror game. Well, that opened something, but I'm not quite sure what. Not seeing any other buttons. What? Thank you. Very kind of you. So many conflicting emotions. I know that marriage is not right for me. I should forego the more intimate personal happiness for complete devotion to my work. Yeah, I mean, if that makes you happy, I'm just utterly, madly... No, I want the pictures of the chairs. Let's just talk plainly, for I cannot marry. However, I shall talk about this next to a load of chairs. Random designs for chairs, because that is so relevant to people deciding not to get married, isn't it? Right, what have we got here? Welcome soap. Yes, it's all very important to have a welcoming party when you buy some more soap, isn't it? Oh, gosh. What am I looking... Oh, it's a baby! Sorry, I thought it was a person's dress. I was thinking, why are you staring at this person's feet through their dress? Never mind. Doesn't matter. So how many doors have I not been through? Although I haven't been through the... Keep your clothes on. Keep your clothes on, people! Oh, giddy on, there's more of them! Oh, there's even more of them! These people just stop it. I just want them not get banned from this site immediately, alright? Why are all these people gone outside? Why are they outside in the two-dimensional world? Why don't they stay in here? Everything's lovely three-dimensional. Can I play the piano? No. Now I am sad. Right. Oh, hi, John. What is it, little girl? You shouldn't be walking about. You'll get cold. Everybody in this era wears like 17,000 layers of linen. Trust me, I won't get cold. Oh dear. I don't weigh a bit more, nor as much, and my appetite may be a bit better in the evening when you are here, but it is much worse in the morning when you are away. Please, I wish you would take me away. There is something wrong here. Sometimes I see the strangest things behind the pattern of wallpaper. I disagree with your ideas. I believe that congenial work with excitement and change would do me good. That's out of the question. You would not be able to stand it. Why don't I try? And then we'll disprove your theory in 5 seconds. You are my darling and my comfort and all I have, except for all of your money and property and rights. You must take care of yourself for my sake, and keep well. No one but you can help you out of it. You must use your will and self-control and not let any silly fancies run away with you. You're talking like a self-help book. It isn't real, I beg of you, for my sake and for our children's sake, and for your own as well, that you will stop these notions entering your mind. They are nothing so dangerous, so fascinating to a temperament such as yours. It is false and foolish fancy. Can you not trust me as a physician when I tell you so? No. Our release will be up in 3 weeks, and I cannot and I can't see how to leave before. The repairs are not done at home, and I cannot possibly leave town just now. Of course, if you were in any danger, I could and would. But you really are better, dear. Whether you can see it or not, I am a doctor, dear, and I know. It's not just difficult to read because of the grammar, it's difficult to read because of just what it is as well. Oh dear, you are gaining flesh and colour, your appetite is better, I feel really much easier about you. Go away. You crazy lunatic person. Right. Who are these people? Not that, these people. Who is this grim person? She wishes to be treated. Why is there why are these old pieces of information being written next to blokes? Never mind. What do we have here? One of the weirder expressions we've reached so far. A photograph shows a card similar to this in each box of Macob's cocoa and chocolate preparations. See, this is how vegans get people to stop eating chocolate. Not by any plight of the cows, gubbins. This. We can put this in boxes of chocolate and people stop buying them. Right, is there a button that I can press in order to get out of here? I don't see one. I don't see one. Suppose the question how I'm supposed to leave. Where am I supposed to lie down? I lie down in the fire. No, but I can set my feet on fire. Good for me. What's this? Did I read this before? This wallpaper has a kind of sub-pattern in a different shade, a particularly irritating one, for you can only see it in certain lights and not clearly then. But in the places where it isn't faded and where the sun is just so, I can see a strange, provoking form, a sort of figure that seems to be skulking around behind that silly and conspicuous front design. You must hurry, only one more week left to go. Something is weak, and right now it's my stomach. But never mind. It's just... What? There's no going back, you sure? Yeah. Please stand by. Life is very much more exciting now than it used to be. You see, I have something more to expect, to look forward to watch. I really do eat better, and I am more quiet than I was. I do not want to leave now until I have found it out. There is a week more, and I think that will be enough. If this is meant... I'm not reading all this. If this is meant to be a serious discussion about women's rights, it's going all over my head. I think it needs to be in better grammar if it's going to be more effective in that pursuit. The wallpaper changes so quickly that I cannot believe it. This is why I always watch it. I really have discovered something at last. Though, through watching it so much at night, when it changes so, I finally found out. I must be very short if I fit in this bed. I see you tore all the wallpaper off, it seems. Oh, there is some wallpaper. And I agree with you. It's ghastly. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. What do we have here? Petition for the divorce of Charles Walter Setson, who hath ever since on his part deemed himself as a faithful husband and performed all the obligations of the marriage covenant. It's but that the said Charlotte Perkins Setson hat violated the same in this. Yes, violating the sanctity of marriage with a hat. Oh, hello. Okay, friend, I see a thing here. I see a woman, I see a person, I see a face. Am I supposed to interact with this somehow? Woman in the wall. Wait, I didn't have time to read that. Come back, woman in the wall, I need you. For stuff and things. Again with the references to the modern media. Oh, dear. That moon is about 3 feet away. Okay, so did I screw that up? Was I supposed to... Oh, here she is now. We must get to work now. We are leaving tomorrow. Are you Charlotte? I'm sorry I haven't finished ripping off the wallpaper. You can call me that if you like. You've done a fine job. I'm such a good painter and decorator, aren't I? I'll be able to get out, and they won't be able to keep us there if we don't want. Now we need a safe place to rest. I know we are running out of time. They will come and take me away soon. What am I to do? The powers that be don't give us much room to manoeuvre, but I think I found a way. I've opened a door for us. Go into the passage, you'll be safe there. What about John and Jeannie? They will try to stop us. Don't worry, you threw away the key, so it will take them some time to get in. I will find the opening. I'll meet you in the passage. I am befuddled. Beyond all measure. Someone tearing up some more wallpaper. It is so pleasant to be able to creep around as I please. I do have to get back behind the pattern at night, and that is hard. But here I can creep smoothly on the floor, and my shoulders just fits in the long smooch around the wall. Excuse me, I have a monopoly on the smooches, particularly the long ones. So I cannot lose my way. I don't want to go outside, and I didn't get time to read that. There is no use, young man. You can't open it. I threw away the key. You'll never find it. Right. Is this the door John is trying to get through, or is this the door I'm supposed to be leaving by? Oh no, I don't want to creep outside. I like it here, where everything is yellow, and I cannot lose my way. Okay. Okay. We'll walk here. Is anybody, I said it's no use, young man. Go away. All he does is call and pound. I've known many people like that. Now he's crying for an axe. It would be a shame to break down that beautiful door. You ever seen the movie The Boy? There's some certain similarities there. I won't go into too much detail in case you haven't seen it, because it's a good movie and I won't want to spoil it, but, you see, they can't reach us here. Isn't it pleasant? You were right, Charlotte. We got out in spite of them, and we can get out whenever we want now that we've ripped the paper. You've ripped my brain up as well. Right. This game makes no sense. None at all. If this game is designed to be some sort of big statement about women's rights in the old days and women's attempt to get more equal rights, then that's a good idea, because that is an important topic that needs to be talked about. I don't understand this game. I don't know what it is talking about. I don't understand any of it at all. It makes no sense whatsoever. It's completely mad and insane and ridiculous. But some of the paintings have funny things that can be said about them, and I hope you enjoyed me saying the stupid stuff about the silly paintings, because I honestly feel like I have absolutely nothing to contribute, because my brain is currently bleeding out of my ears regarding every other topic to do with this game. So, yep. Thank you very much for joining me this evening, ladies and gentlemen, for whatever under the sun it was we just spent the last 15 minutes of our life experiencing. Look after each other and give each other equal rights, and paint your painting with the proper facial expressions, and good night.